Hey everybody, welcome back to Better Computer. My name is Matt, and today we're going to be looking at this. This is the Keychron M3. It's the first mouse from Keychron. Now, I love Keychron. I have used a bunch of their keyboards over the years, and my current keyboard that I use every single day is a Keychron Q1, which I think is great. But I was curious what they would do with a mouse, and so I've been using this for the better part of a week now, and I just wanted to share my kind of impressions on it after using it for a couple days, because I think initially I was going to give this a very bad review because I was really not impressed with it right away, but using it a bit more, I started to appreciate some of the things they've chosen to do with it. So let's talk about the good things I like about it and then the things that I don't really dig about this mouse. So I think the first thing they do really well with this mouse is connectivity. So it's USB-C on the front, it has an internal battery, I think it's 600 milliamp hours. So not a huge battery. I haven't been able to kill it yet, but I've had it for less than a week. So I can't really speak to battery life, but it does have an internal battery, charges over USB-C, which is great, and comes in the box with this really nice, it's hard to communicate in video, but it's this really floppy, braided cable that I've never really seen before, which is really, really nice for just kind of being lightweight and getting out of the way. I really like that. It is a USB-C to USB-C cable. It has a USB-A adapter, so if you're plugging it into a computer that has USB-A, you can do that easily. And also, this is a wired mouse. It's also a Bluetooth mouse, but it's also a wireless. It has a little dongle thing. So it comes with the USB-A dongle. It comes with the USB-C dongle, which I've actually plugged into my dock right now, so I can't show it here. And it comes with dongles for both. And what's really cool, and I'm sure other companies have done this and I just haven't seen it, is it comes with this little adapter thing where if your computer is like a desktop computer and maybe it's a little far away from your keyboard or there's interference that you get whenever you try to use one of these dongles, there's this adapter here so you can kind of basically use the included USB-C cable to run the dongle attached to the adapter. This is getting a little confusing, but basically you plug the dongle into the adapter into the USB cable, and then you can put this anywhere. So you can run it from your computer up to the top of your desk so that the connection is right there. It's a really nice little quality of life thing. It's not a thing I fortunately have to deal with. I don't seem to have any interference plugging it in below my desk, but if you do, that's a really nice thing that they've thought of. The other things I like, it's very, very light. So this is an exceptionally light mouse. At first I actually thought maybe I'd have to put some AA's in it or something, but it actually is just incredibly light. So I've got my nice little kitchen scale here, and if I put this on here, it is 88 grams it's measuring right now. And if I use my Logitech MX Master 3, which is my normal day-to-day mouse, that's 151 it's showing here. So it's basically half the weight of the mouse that I'm used to using. So if you want a light mouse, it's really nice there. I think in terms of just using it, the clicking is really satisfying, is really nice. On the side, there's really low amounts of pressure required to depress them, which I actually like for just going back easily. I don't like it when those are too stiff and too hard to hit. So I like that. I also like the RGB, which is not a thing I really expected, but when you turn it on, I'll switch to a shot of this so you can kind of see it more close up, but there's RGB effects. There's a button on top here that I was wondering would be a mode switch for the scroll wheel or something. No, it's just a switch to change what RGB mode you're in. I didn't think I would use this. I'm not typically an RGB fan, but I actually do kind of like the wave of color that it does as one of the modes. So I kind of dig that. And then along the bottom, there are a couple buttons you can use to kind of configure the mouse just on the mouse itself. So there's a DPI switch, so you can choose how sensitive you want it to be just from the mouse itself. And then there's a report rate, which is how quickly it's going to report these updates to your computer. I assume the lower the rate, the better the battery life will be, but I don't really know for sure. I'll try to put something on screen here if I can explain it a little better, but you can control those from the mouse, which is nice. And then there's a switch right here to switch between the three connection modes. G means the Wi-Fi adapter you plug into the computer. Off is wired mode, so it's totally off until you plug it in with USB-C, and then it turns into a wired mouse, which actually does go in wired mode, unlike the Logitech MX Master, which I hate. Even when you have it plugged into a computer, it's always technically connected over wireless. That's annoying there, so I do like when mice are able to just be a totally actually wired connection. Which kind of brings us into the things I don't like as much about this mouse. And that's number one, Bluetooth. It does works great. I think it's Bluetooth 5.1 for whatever that's worth. But the problem is it only connects to one device at a time. And again, it's a more expensive mouse, so it's maybe not a fair comparison, but I really like mice that let you pair with multiple devices at the same time and being able to switch between them. I get 3 of those with the Logitech mice. This one, you can pair it to 1, which is kind of a pain. So that's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world for a lot of people. I also don't love the shape of the mouse. It's perfectly symmetrical, so if you're lefty, and obviously like this mouse, which is really built for right-handed people, isn't going to work for you, this is going to be better for that. So that's a nice thing if you're not necessarily right-handed. And then the thing that really kills this mouse for me in terms of me like wanting to switch to it full time is the scrolling situation. So again, I'm comparing it to a mouse that's more expensive, but I'm just so happy with how scrolling works on the MX Master, and the free like spinning wheel that they've got here just really lets me scroll through things effortlessly. Whereas this is definitely more of an old school scroll wheel that's actually stiffer than I'm used to, and it's hard to like build up momentum, and I just feel like I'm just like scrolling like crazy with it whenever I'm trying to use it to scroll, especially a long page. And I find myself just reaching for the like scroll bar on the side of the window to like drag things around, which is just more annoying than it should be. And additionally, on the side, there's no side scrolling, so there's no way to scroll left to right, which I do video stuff, I do image editing, I do like a lot of things where I need to scroll right and left as well, and you just can't do that here at all, so that's an annoyance as well. So ultimately, I ended with a few negative things, but I do think that if you're in the market for a sub, it's $50, so it's about half the price, maybe less than half the price of Logitech's best mouse, which is what I love this mouse. It's half the price of that, and I think it's solid. I think that if the design appeals to you, I think some of the things that they've thought about with the connectivity and this like really nice USB cable, I'm sure you could just buy one, but like it really comes together in a package that feels nice. That's, again, it's very light. I think the RGB looks good. I do enjoy this mouse. It's just the Bluetooth only connecting to one device is a little frustrating for me. And the big one is just scrolling. Scrolling is just more of a pain, but maybe I'm just so used to using Macs with touchpads that can scroll right to left and up and down easily. I'm so used to using a higher end mouse that has better scrolling that I'm just not used to using a mouse like this. But yeah, it's definitely a bit disappointing that you can scroll side to side, and even the vertical scrolling is just painfully slow. I can tweak that obviously in like my Mac OS or Windows settings, but it would be nice if it was a little just better out of the box. So that's it for today. Hopefully that gave you an idea about the mouse. And again, if it looks nice to you and the feature set looks nice to you, I think you will enjoy it. It's just not quite the mouse for me. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.